Hello, my friends. We are going to learn today, Erev Rosh Hashanah, New Year's. We are going to learn the Psalm of the day for Monday. People here familiar with the Psalm of the day? We've discussed it, what the background is. Yeah. What is Psalm of the day all about? So if you remember, we said that it's possible, although doesn't hold up 100%, that the Psalm of the day is related to that God's, first of all, that it's connected to the creation of the world. Remember the 7 days? We said maybe each psalm for each day has some connection to what was created on that day. So we can check that out. It worked for the first one. Let's see if it works for the second one. Who remembers what was created the second day? Remember? You can look it up. Who remembers what was created the second day? I have that, but I don't have it printed out.
Okay.
Let's see.
Moshe said heaven and earth. I don't know if that's true.
Well, that's the first. It's the first verse. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. So I think that sounds to me like the first day, actually. No? Right? Bereshit, bara Elokim. Everybody with me on that? In the beginning, God created et hashamayim, the heavens, vet haaretz, and the earth. So I think we have to go with that's the first day.
Moshe said that, so.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm just telling Moshe. Moshe knows that. I'm sure he knows that pasuk. So it's just a reminder of that. Yeah. So we know it's not that.
The sky.
Right.
He created the sky.
The sky, great. Okay. Just going to go back to the intro.
I didn't realize it was the Psalms.
You didn't realize what? Joan, what didn't you realize?
I didn't realize your class is focusing on the Psalms for the day.
It's not. We've been doing it for a year already, and each time we did different ones. We did 121, we did 130, we did, but in the about a few weeks, I guess you weren't on, but a few weeks ago, we said, okay, the next thing we'll do was the 7 Psalms, the ones for each of the day, because we did most of the ones that people know, like Psalm 23 and others. That's why. So we've done a lot of those. But now we said, so we already did the first day. We did Sunday. We did an intro to Psalm for each day of the week. Are you familiar with the fact that each day of the week has a different Psalm, Joan?
Yes.
Okay, great. So for those who daven every day, or some days at least, and you've done that also, remember there's a Psalm of the day that we do every day, because you've been to Tefillah, that Zoom Tefillah. So we're just going into that, why, each one, because those are Psalms we say more regularly than other Psalms, because we actually say them, we recite them. Okay. So we said it might be according to the creation. So that's one. The other one, if you remember, was that there was a modern scholar who suggested that God's name appears in the first Psalm in the first word, in the second Psalm in the second word, in the third Psalm in the third word. Remember that? We talked about that. So does everybody have a copy of a Bible, a Tanakh, something? I mean, the Psalms are everywhere. So there you can get it from the Siddur, because we say it every day. Or you can look analyze. Everybody have a copy? It'll be very hard for you to do it without some copy. You have to bring it with you.
What number is it? What number is it? 48?
Yeah. Number 48 is the Psalm of the day for Monday. So I'll wait till everybody comes, brings their copy, so I know that you have a copy of the text. That would be helpful too. All right. Just waiting for John to come back. Awesome. Great. Okay. So everybody, can you just pick up your hand so I know that you have Psalm 48. Robert, Moshe, you got it? Elaine has it. Ellen, do you have Psalm 48 yet?
Scrolling, I'm getting it.
Okie dokie. Hmm. How you doing over there, Joan? You got it, Ellen. Joan, you want to unmute? You can
Yeah,
unmute.
go ahead without me because I have to figure out how to find it. Moshe's coming to show it to me.
Oh, Psalms. So Psalms are in the last third. It's after all the judges and the do you have a whole Tanakh there?
You have a whole Tanakh, yeah.
Okay, no problem. So the beginning is the 5 books. Then we have Judges and Samuel and all those things and the prophets. After the prophets immediately is Psalms. And then remember, it's just 1 to 150. So you just go to 48.
Okay.
So Joan, and it's a good thing to familiarize yourself with this, with the Tanakh. That's not a bad thing anyway. Okay, I'm going to read it in Hebrew and in English. Shir Mizmor Livnei Korach. So this is really interesting. Until now, we've had psalms that have to do with David. Remember, we said some of them are written by King David. It's not true the way most of us were taught that all of them were written by King David.
I don't want to interrupt.
I'm just putting you on mute, Joan, while you're talking to Moshe. So most of them written. And remember, we had if you remember, the Psalm 23 begins, Mizmor LeDavid. This is a psalm for David. And the psalm for the first day, for Sunday, is LeDavid Mizmor. For David, a psalm. And we talked about the difference when the words are flipped. But those are definitely psalms that were written by King David because his name is in them. But this one is talking about the children of Korach. So feel free to unmute and tell me why it's odd that we talk about the children of Korach writing a song. Who knows who Korach was? It's a very it's a very small group. Please feel free to talk.
No idea.
No idea. Okay,
Well,
Ellen
I
is
don't
no
remember.
idea.
I think it's more like I don't
Wait.
remember.
Not everybody at once. Slowly. 1 second. Elaine, I think.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I know he rebelled. There's a whole portion in the Torah that he was a rebel against Moshe.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Now you see, Ellen, that is not knowledgeable. You right away go to I don't know, but actually you do know. Moshe, do you want to add that or Joan?
No, he was swallowed up, but his children supposedly did tshuva.
Wait. You mixed a few things together. First of all, we only see your body, not your face. So can you sit down so we can see you talking?
Okay, I think.
Who was swallowed by what and who did tshuva? We still don't see you.
Okay.
Come on in. Come into the picture.
Yeah, we're a little tough. We just came from treatment, so excuse us if we're a little out of it, but
Oh, no, you're fine.
hey.
All right, you see me now?
Yeah, we see a glow of sun behind you too, but that's fine.
That's the hold on, that's the apartment. Let me make this.
No,
bigger.
that's great. We love having sun. Sun is awesome. Anyway, so what do you know about Korach?
All right, he rebelled against Moses. He thought everybody was holy, not just Moses. I think he was swallowed up by the earth.
So not exactly the earth, yes, but there was an earthquake that it actually split. The ground split. And as far as it doesn't exactly say what happened to Korach, we pretty much understand that Korach and 250 of his followers fell in and were swallowed. You could say swallowed up by the earth. Okay, so we all think of Korach. Does this sound familiar? Robert Moshe, you're familiar?
What?
No, I asked Robert Moshe. You're Moshe and he's Robert Moshe.
Okay.
Look on the Zoom, you'll see.
I'm somewhat familiar.
You're somewhat. So what do you know about Korach?
I know that he's a character in the Torah. I know that there's a parsha named after him.
Good. And he rebelled. So that's what we do. Now, he was a Levi, just like Moshe and Aaron was a Kohen, but they were all descendants of the tribe of Levi, meaning Levites. And he didn't love the fact, he was the first cousin to Moshe and Aaron, and he did not love the fact that they had these positions of power and authority given to them by God. And so he used roundabout methods to say, oh, everybody's holy. How could you be more holy? Really wanting himself to be holy, like he should be appointed. It wasn't really about nobody having authority. And God really showed that he was not right, because he ended up being swallowed up. And yes, by the earth, or so we imagine. So therefore, isn't it odd that we have more than one? There are 7 Psalms that are named, that were written by the sons, of Korach. And Korach's sons were with him in that group for a long time. That's why it's so odd. Weren't they also swallowed up by the earth? And this is kind of our proof that they weren't. Yeah, Moshe.
Maybe they did maybe they repented before.
That's what you heard. That's what you started to say, that they did tshuva. So this is, yeah.
Something like the sons of Haman. Supposedly some of them.
Well, the sons of Haman were hanged. So,
but the children, did tshuva.
And their children.
Maybe talking about these are the grands.
Nice. Beautiful. No, these are not the grandchildren, as far as we know. Although you're right, the sons of could be the descendants, but that's not what it sounds like. It sounds like actually the sons. Okay. So that's where our rabbis, our sages, have this interpretation that they must have done tshuva. They must have not remained in that bad place. Otherwise, they would have been swallowed up and killed, just like the followers. Everybody with me on that? Because we have these 7 Psalms. Also, it means, by the way, the Levites, it's really kind of cool, because David is a descendant of Judah. But Korach is a descendant of Levi, meaning he's a Levi, his sons are Levis, their sons are Levis, everybody's Levi. And who were the ones who sang the Psalms in the temple?
Levi.
The Levites, the Leviim. So it's kind of beautiful that they wrote a song. Maybe they really were musical. Different people have different talents. I love that. I mean, I didn't read that anywhere, but I kind of love the closing the loop that way. But it is also a beautiful idea to say you are not, is it dictated? Your actions are not dictated by your parents and where they came from, unless you choose them to be. You can choose to change your ways. And that's what I think we can learn just from the first 4 words in this psalm. This is a psalm by the sons of Korach. That would be the English translation. Do you have an English translation, Jonah Moshe?
Yes.
It says for the conductors by the sons of Korach, a psalm.
Oh, the conductors for Psalm 48? That's interesting, because Lamnatseach is usually...
No,
are you on Psalm 48?
Psalm 48, a psalms by the sons of Korah.
Yeah, because Lamnatseach is the Hebrew word for conductor, so that would be a different one. Okay. Like we say that, for example, in a mourner's house, there's one, and we say one when we blow the shofar. That's a whole different ball game. We don't need to talk about that. But that's Lamnatseach. That's for the conductor. This is a song or a psalm written by the sons of Korah. So first of all, that's a great way to start, because we're already talking about somebody doing tshuva, so that's beautiful. That's already a lesson for us. Gadol Adonai umehulal me'od be'ir Eloheinu har kodsho. God is great and abundantly praised when God builds the godly city on God's holy mountain. So what city is that, and what mountain is that? Jerusalem. This is going to be a psalm about Yerushalayim. Now that's beautiful also, because remember, in the temple is actually in Jerusalem, right? Hold on one second.
This is a good class. I should have joined before.
Okay. So this is going to signal to you that this psalm is all about Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. Yefei nof mesos kol haaretz, most beautiful joy of the earth. Har Tzion yarketei tzafon, it's Mount Zion, the northern aspect, Kiryat Melech Rab, of the king's great city. King meaning capital K, meaning God. Elohim ba'armenoteha noda lamisgab. When God dwells in Jerusalem's palaces, God will be seen or known as its stronghold or as its exalted dweller. Ki hinei hamelachim no'adu avru yachdav. For kings will assemble. This is lowercase k, meaning not necessarily even Jewish kings, because there's only one Jewish king at a time. So this must mean other kings, not Jewish, will assemble avru yachdav. They came together. According to this, it says to attack the city. So this is already an interpretation, because avru yachdav, they crossed over together. Does that mean necessarily in battle? Not necessarily, but that's this interpretation. Does anybody else have a different one for verse 5? Hello, guys. Different interpretation? What's your verse 5 say? You have to unmute John and Moshe if you want to say something. Verse 5. Are people with me? Verse 5? Yes? No? Are we get hello? Whew. 48 verse 5. What's your translation?
Oh,
You're muted, sorry.
Okay, mine is for behold, the king's assembly, they came together.
Right, so it doesn't say to attack. That's what I was asking. Did somebody have a different
Yeah,
translation?
Yeah, I do. Remember when Abraham passed away?
Yeah.
Ishmael and Isaac were together also. They mourned.
Oh, that's very nice. That's beautiful. Yeah, Ellen.
Kings joined forces. They advanced together.
So that sounds like attacking as well. Joined forces. It's a similar, no?
Well, but it could mean they're just moving forward together.
What does joined forces mean? Isn't that usually for an army?
Military, yes.
I think it's usually I mean, that's what I
Forces.
hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Elaine, what do you have as a translation?
Oh, yeah, the king assembled. They came together. They came to attack Jerusalem.
Okay, so you also have attack. Yeah, what do you have? What do you want to say, Joan?
Well, I mean, the next line really gives you the context, if I'm correct, which then they left, right? It doesn't say that they fled.
So that is why many people translate that. I'm just saying, if you read the pasuk, it doesn't say that they came to attack. That's all I'm saying.
No, but
The
they
word in Hebrew.
They joined up, which shows they were a force. It doesn't mean one way or another.
Correct. No, I agree. And the next pasuk, Heimara'u kein tamahu, when they saw God, they will be in one. It's more like they'll be like in awe and wonder. Tamahu, they'll be confused. It could be confused. Nivhalu nechpazu. In fright, they were scared. Libahed means to be frightened. Nechpazu, they ran away in panic. Now, that could mean that they came in military might and they ran away. Or it could mean that they came to see the awe and wonder of God and they were just in awe and they ran away, right? So it could mean either one. That's all I'm saying.
But it's more like when you join forces, maybe they came to occupy, which is
Well, the
not.
problem is, Joan, you're right, except you're reading the English. I'm talking about the Hebrew. So
Yeah.
the Hebrew says that the kings came, they crossed over together. It doesn't say that they joined forces, but that's the way the commentaries read it. So when you're reading the English, you of course lose some of the translation. You have no choice. That every translation is going to be a commentary because you have to decide how to translate it. So it could mean attack, and it could mean they just came together to see God's wonder. It could be either one.
It's a bad translation because you're saying that's just crossed over.
No, it's not a bad translation. It is a specific I don't think it's a bad translation. It goes according to many, 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 many commentaries. It follows a certain way of understanding it, especially when you see the next pasuk says that they were frightened and they ran away in fright. So you're saying, oh, it sounds like they gathered together. Like, the problem is, Joan, you can't find a word in English that's going to fit all the translations in Hebrew, because in Hebrew it could be translated in many different ways. And also, let's remember, it's poetry. So we all know that poetry can be understood in many different ways. So no matter what, when you translate, you have to pick one direction. You have no choice. So I wouldn't agree with you that it's a bad translation. It's just that it's a specific translation. That's all. Right? Okay. And you know that if you read a poem, many people can come out with different conclusions from it. Okay, now verse 7. Re'ada achazatam sham. A trembling seized them or gripped them there. Chil kayoleda. Chil is like pains. Yoleda is a woman in labor. That's often used by our, what do you call the poets, I guess, psalmists and poets to describe pain. Especially, let's remember, they probably didn't have painkillers. And very often a woman in labor was, even today, is in a lot of pain. So certainly then could have been in a lot of pain. Beruach kadim, there'll be an eastern wind or gale, it says here, tishaber oniyot Tarshish, that will smash ships in the Tarshish port. So you should know, and we'll get to it, but I'll already tell you, it sounds like God brings a wind that smashes their ships. Would you agree with that? If we follow this idea. But I read two other explanations. That first of all, that they so wanted to stay in Jerusalem that they prayed that their ships would be smashed and they wouldn't be able to go back home. That's a completely different translation. It's a commentary, right? It's commentary on it. And also, some say that it wasn't a port called Tarshish, even though there was one, but rather it's a boat, class of boats. That in Tarshish there were so many ships or boats that it's a class of boats. Okay, I just want to get you kind of into the mood of this psalm, whether we finish it today or not. We might finish it next time. But I just wanted to go over so that you get a feeling for it. Ka'asher shamanu ken ra'inu, be'ir Adonai tzvaot, be'ir Eloheinu, Elohim yichonenea ad olam sela. Kasher shamanu, as we heard, and this adds from the prophets in parentheses, ken ra'inu, we saw, ba'ir Adonai tzvaot. So, in the city of God, so tzvaot is the hosts. That's what it's usually translated as. And tzava is an army. So a lot of commentaries say, wait a minute, this use of God's name is used when we're talking about God acting as an army. Everybody with me on that? That also sheds light and casts its light on the translation of the other verses. Because if you see this is the name of God that's being used, then you might understand that it's in order to signal to you that we're talking about armies. Be'ir Eloheinu, in God's city, or our God's city, God will preserve it forever. Ad olam means forever. Selah, that's a hard word. We've discussed that. It usually means forever. So it's like a stamp on forever. I don't know how to say that better. Selah is just an added poetic, flowery word that's added very often. Okay, anybody have anything to say about that? Verse 9? Yeah, Ellen.
So what it sounds like to me is that the first part of that, it sounds like the likes of what we heard, we have now witnessed, is that finally they have some proof of God's greatness.
Wow,
They've finally
beautiful.
seen it with their own eyes.
Beautiful. Who is they?
These kings, these
So one
led-
second. So hold on one second. At the beginning of verse 9, it says, Kasher shamanu, when we heard. So we is probably not the kings. We is probably the Jews. When we
right.
heard. All that we heard. What does your translation say?
No, the likes of what we heard, we
Right,
have
so
now witnessed. Right.
So it sounds like it's actually the Jewish people. That's why they added from the prophets. Where would they have heard? Oh, we heard the prophecy from the prophets. Now we're seeing it with our own eyes, which is why it's not 100% clear. And a lot of people spoke about this when I was reading about it. That is it about something that happened? One of the great victories that God brought and wrought, WROUGHT, or is it about the future, the Messianic age? It could be either one. And in poetry, even if it's in the past tense, it still can mean this is what we hope for. We hope that what we heard about, we will see. So it could be Messianic as well. Not clear. Okay? Or we can interpret it both ways. Interpret it one way and then go back and interpret it the other way. The fact that God will preserve it forever, why do we say it might be messianic? Because we know that Jerusalem was abandoned mostly by Jews for many years when there were exiles. Everybody with me? You guys are all looking down and reading, so I want to see what's going through your head. What are you looking? What are you thinking? Any thoughts? Something to share? Or should I continue?
Continue.
Okay. Verse 10. Diminu Elohim chasdecha bekerev hechalecha. So diminu can mean to be quiet, like dimama, or dimayon is imagination. So it can be either one. God, we picture your love or your kindness in the heart, from the heart of your temple. So again, this could be kindness that was shown, let's say, in David. Well, no, David, it wasn't built yet. In Shlomo's time, Solomon, where they were able to overcome their enemies during Solomon's time. And from the heart of your temple, we're assuming that everything radiates from the temple. Remember when God tasked Bnei Israel to create a tabernacle in the wilderness, and God said that God will dwell there, that we create a home for God on this earth by creating a temple or a tabernacle. So it starts, the heart is in the temple, and God's kindness radiates outwards. Kishimcha, yeah.
In my translation, it says, "We hoped, O God, for your kindness in the midst of your sanctuary." That's quite a different translation.
Well, here it says we picture your love or kindness. So it's the same idea as we imagine, right?
It's different.
No, it's a different word.
This one
What?
says
Wait,
meditate.
right. So meditate, imagine, picture, they're all similar ideas, but of course the word that you use is going to be a little different. Do you see that that's similar, Joan? It's about the future.
Well, if you say hope, you don't know if you're gonna have it, whereas if
Correct.
you pictured it, that's a different thing. So I think it's quite a different meaning.
Well,
In my translation, I'm not saying which is better, because I
wait,
don't
which one is yours? Imagine?
know. Mine says we hoped.
Oh, we hope. So I think the people who translate it as we picture means that we're not seeing it ourselves because we're not there, we're picturing it. So I think that goes with the commentary that says we hope for it, and there, you're projecting the imagery. You're right that it's not the same. And by the way, the word in Hebrew is not hope, just so you know. The word for hope is tikva, and the word
Right.
here is diminu. We imagined or pictured, but they added their own level of commentary and said, we hope, by picturing. In other words, they're understanding the meaning of the word, but it's not a literal translation. Okay? Cool. Okay. Your love, bekerev echalecha. So be means usually in the heart of your temple or in the midst of your temple. Whether that means radiating outwards. Again, it's poetry. So, so I hear what you're saying, Joan. It's a different translation, but I think the idea is the same, that they're hoping, imagining, picturing, as opposed to Rashi, who says it's from the words mama, which is quiet, meaning we're quiet, and it could also be the same. And we see a picture in our heads, we don't know exactly what it means. Again, if you go according to this happened and we're thanking God, or we're praying that it will happen. And I think they're both fine. I don't have a problem with either one. Kishimcha Elohim ken tilatcha al katzvei eretz tzedek mal'a yeminecha. Kishimcha Elohim, just as your name is great, so is your praise from all the world. Remember that the kings all came from the whole world. So we're saying, they all said that your name is great and you are great. And goodness fills your right hand. Not goodness. This says goodness. Tzedek actually means justice.
Righteousness. Mine
Righteousness. Yep. Righteousness or justice. It's interesting that they wrote here goodness. I don't know why they wrote that. That's unusual. I would say tzedek is either righteousness or justice.
Here it says beneficence.
What is that word? What does that mean?
And beneficence is really
goodness.
you're giving goodness.
right? You're giving goodness. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you understand that right. So here's what I want to say. I think what they're saying is you're doing the right thing, God, and we see it in your chesed, in your kindness, your beneficence and your goodness is flowing from doing the right thing, right? The righteousness. You're giving people who deserve it the good. You know, we have this age-old question of tzaddik v'ralo. Do you have a good person, a righteous person on the earth, and they're having a very hard time? We don't understand that, right? Because we understand that our reward is to have good things happen to us. We never understand that. So it sounds like it's saying here, no, you're going to fulfill the actual meaning of righteousness, which is giving people who deserve it good things. Does that make sense to you, Ellen?
Yeah, I just had a really almost funny thought, and that is that we have two hands. And so if only his right hand holds beneficence,
So what's
what does
going
the
on with the
left hand
left?
hold? Yeah. What's
Yeah.
going on with the left? Is that the opposite? Is that what God reserves for his anger? I don't
No, actually, right hand is strength and might. So if anything, it's saying God is not using it for strength and might. That's what it sounds like, but rather using it for beneficence. So I would say it's interesting that you say the right hand, the left hand. Let's follow that to its conclusion as we learn the psalm. But usually mincha means you're just your strong hand. I mean, I'm a lefty, but most people are righties.
I'm a
So
lefty.
usually,
not me.
yay, wait, how many lefties here? Whoa, we rock. We rock. Look at that. This is, by the way, an unusual. I mean, lefties are usually not half of the people. So if you count Moshe, it's half the people. If you don't count Moshe, we're 60%. Just saying. Oh, Moshe's coming back. Never mind. So yes, three lefties. But that's not the point. The point, really, I mean this, and I'm a lefty. But the point is that yamin is always used to represent the strong hand. It's just that's the way it is. So
And
it's a
what is in his left? What
great.
is
So
he
let's
holding?
hold that. Let's hold that in our heads. I'm totally fine with holding that idea. I love that. Let's continue. So, Boot, did you have something to say, Elaine?
No.
Okay. Um, so Boot Sion v'hakifuha sifru migdaleha. Walk around Zion. Zion is another word for Jerusalem. So all who will build it, go around. Vakifu lakif means to go around from the outside and count the towers according to this it will need. So this translation says you're not necessarily counting the towers, or maybe you're counting how many there are, but you're like the architects. You're going to be building it. Why is the psalmist saying you have to walk? Why is the psalmist saying that? Any thoughts?
See it for yourself.
Yeah, and encircle her, counter towers. Not going in it.
Yes, Ellen. And by the way, there's a thing in Israel about walking the land. As a matter of fact, what does God tell Abraham? Moshe, what does God tell Abraham?
Walk the
Hum
land.
vehitalech ba'aretz.
Walk the
Get,
land.
walk the land. See, Moshe knows this stuff.
Didn't,
Get,
didn't, didn't the Miraggans also walk the land?
well, they had to. I mean,
Yeah.
they had no choice, right? But this is a little different to me. They went to scout it out. But I'm talking about, like, how do you how can I say this? How do you get the feel of a place?
Right,
Let me
that's
say it even like we see each other on Zoom, but if I never met any of you in person, there's always going to be something a little bit missing. There's something about knowing and seeing somebody in person, then afterwards on Zoom, it gets filtered through that. Like I met Robert Moshe, I was on Zoom with him for so long during COVID, and then all of a sudden he appeared. Who knew that he gave so many years to Rikers Island? And I came for a whatever it was, can't remember. Oh, it was for the staff, a beautiful something, prayer service or something, holiday. And there was Robert Moshe. And it made such a difference that I met you in person. It just made that connection. So it's the same thing here. It's one thing to hear about Jerusalem, and it's another thing to walk the land, to count it, to see it, to walk around it. Oh, wait 1 second. Robert is saying he can't use the Zoom link. Oh, that's okay. Let me just send him the Zoom link. Just a minute. Weird.
beautiful.
Oh, I love it when people say that. Just a moment. Copy invite link. Let me just send this, please, to Robert because he feels bad that he's not on, and I, of course, feel bad. Okay. All right, I sent it to him. Hopefully, he'll come on soon. That's nice. We'll have somebody else. Sometimes it's nice with a small group and you all get to like really say what you're thinking. Robert Moshe, you are so invited to unmute and to be a part of it if you would like. Up to you. Okay, so yeah, so imagining now, by the way, I just want to take a step back a second for this. I love, by the way, that we're going over it first in the first pass. We're going to go back over it again and I can share with you other thoughts, but I like this as a way to get into it. So first of all, it can be talking about Jews. If anybody here has ever read our liturgy, how many times does Jerusalem come up in there? Many. I'm not saying you should count it. We yearn for Jerusalem. We're always praying for Jerusalem. We Jerusalem is for many, many, many years yearning for Jerusalem is such a huge part of being Jewish. A huge, huge part of being Jewish. Everybody familiar with that?
Yes,
Right,
definitely.
Jerusalem. There's a reason that the Jerusalem of gold was written. That Yerushalayim Shezahav. Hi, Robert. So glad you mentioned it. But keep the link for
Always
another
say
time.
next year in Jerusalem.
Right, exactly. Next year in Jerusalem. Why do we say that? Why don't we say next year in Israel? Next year in Eilat. That sounds good. Next year in Tiberias and Tiberia. Next year in Caesarea, Caesarea. Right? They're all great. But we actually, thank you, Joan. We always say L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim, right? That's what we sing next year in Jerusalem. So you could say that Jerusalem represents Israel. That's one way of saying it, and that's okay too, of course. Usually what we mean is the rebuilt Jerusalem, meaning that God is sovereign and that God is sovereign, but I mean that people recognize God, that maybe the Messiah came, we rebuilt the third temple, which I have no idea what that means, but it's just something that we do pray for. But the idea being that Jerusalem is the focus of our yearning and our longing. It represents, but here, so it might be that these are people who didn't ever even know Jerusalem. Maybe they learned about it from their prayers and from their parents. And now the psalmist is saying, well, like feel it, touch it, be next to it, count it, walk around it, see how beautiful, see what's in it, see what it needs.
So you
That's the holy place. That's the spiritual place.
That's the spiritual, exactly.
so you're saying the psalm could have been written Chutz La'aretz, outside of Israel?
Thank you, Moshe. Exactly. It could be that this is written by people who yearn, and as a matter of fact, not this time maybe, but I have a poem by Rabbi Yehuda Halevi, who was an amazing poet. There's another word for it. I get liturgist. He wrote many liturgical poems, and he wrote the Sefer HaKuzari. He's very well known for that. And song was put to it, and it's based literally on this psalm. And so I found many different people singing. It's a beautiful woman's voice singing, and I have the words, so I was going to play it for you. Maybe we'll play it today. We'll see. We'll decide. So yes, this apps and Rabbi Yehuda Levi did not. Maybe he ended up in Israel, but he certainly started out outside of Israel. So he was yearning for Israel and for Jerusalem when he wrote it. And these words are part of our liturgy because it's part of what we hope for as a people. Let's go to verse 14. Verse 14, Shitu livchem lechela, regard its walls, or put your heart towards the walls. Pasku armenotea, build high its palaces. That's why you have to walk around and be the architect. What do we need? Oh, this is what we need. Leman tisapru l'dor hacharon, so that you can tell of its beauty to later generations, or the last generation, but it could be the last generation that you know, and they'll do it to the ones they know, and it's forever, ever, 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 right? We've been saying this psalm for 2,000 years or more, or however. Ki zeh Elohim Eloheinu olam va'ed. For this is God, our God forever, hu yinahagenu almut. God goes before us, or leads us would be a good. Nahag is a driver. Linhog means to drive or lead the way. Almut. So it's interesting. Mut is mavet, which is death. So it could mean until your death. Or it could be the word olam, which is always. So again, this is a poetic way of writing it. So first of all, these are just beautiful. I'm just going to read the Hebrew so you can hear the lyrical sound of it, okay? Even if you don't know, you can look at your translation as I read it. Shir mizmor livnei Korach, Gadol Adonai umhulal me'od, Be'ir Eloheinu har kodsho. Yefei nof mesos kol haaretz, Har Tzion yarketei tzafon, Kiryat melech rav. Elohim ba'armenoteha noda lemiskav. Melech rav, nisgav, they rhyme. כי הנה המלאכים נועדו, עברו יחדיו. המה ראו כן תמהו, נבהלו נחפזו. Also you're hearing the lyrical sound. רעדה אחזתם שם, חיל כיולדה. ברוח קדים תשבר אוניות תרשיש. כאשר שמענו כן ראינו, בעיר אדוני צבאות. בעיר אלוהינו אלוהים יכונניה עד עולם סלע. דימינו אלוהים חסדך. בקרב היכלך, כשמך אלוהים כן תהילתך, על קצווי ארץ צדק מלאה ימינך. ישמח הר ציון תגלנה בנות יהודה, למען משפטך. I think I skipped that. ישמח הר ציון, oh no, I said let Mount Zion rejoice. The nearby cities of Judah delight when you come to judge the nations. I've skipped that, the rest of that. סובו ציון והקיפוה, סיפרו מגדליה, שיטו לבכם לחילה, פסקו ארמנותיה, למען תספרו לדור אחרון. כי זה אלוהים, אלוהינו עולם ועד, הוא ינהגנו על מות. Okay, we are going to spend time on it, but I'm thinking it would be nice maybe to play it, that song, and then next time we'll do a deeper dive and learn it inside. So give me a moment, please.
I understand it.
You do or don't?
I do.
Love it. Love that you do. You have such a strong connection, emotional connection to Israel. Okay,
I'm
so
gonna go as soon as I finish my treatment, if I can. I plan.
I know. Okay, one second. Here we go. I think you will recognize that. Okay, just give me a minute to organize. Just a moment. Share. Oh, Robert's back. Share sound.
While you're doing that, I just want to say the whole idea of it is the, amazing power there, and it's so fragile. We
Yeah.
don't know,
Yes.
we have to tell it to succeeding generations.
Mm-hmm. No,
And just like the
absolutely.
the people who came, and that's the whole idea of it to me.
Yep. Okay, so let's listen and I'll put the words up.
ידידי, השכחת חנותך בבין שדי, ולמה מחני.
Sorry, wrong song.
Yeah.
Wrong song. Sorry. 1 minute. Let's try this. Let's try again. Oh, wait, do you see it?
No.
You don't see. Oh, you got to tell me because I can't tell. Hold on 1 second. Okay, 1 second. What I'm going to do you not hear it either?
I can
Hear
I
it.
hear the music, not the words.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay, I don't know why, but I'm going to put, I'm so sorry that that happens. Hasn't happened in a long time, but I am going to put into the chat the link and everybody can click on it, all right? These are the words. So let's, at least you'll have that. I will still try to share it again.
This is the link here?
Mhm.
Okay. English translation, okay. There's the branches. Oh,
All
city.
right, guy? All right? Yeah, just, you'll listen to it now. I apologize that that happened. It's not it? Yeah, it is.
No.
Nifei, Nof, no?
No.
No.
There's the
not
branches, love.
right.
All right, trying again.
Not
Just a minute. It's gonna happen.
the same
Why
idea.
did it not? No. It should be here. It doesn't say
It says, oh,
Yuda Levi Yefe Nof English. It doesn't say that.
this is not
That's
the
so
one.
weird. Okay. Just no. It's not the words. It's based on it.
Oh, it's based on it?
No,
Okay.
it's just based on it. It's not the words of the song. But if you look, many of the words are the same. That's what it is. It is the correct. Is the correct one.
Okay.
Oh,
It's not that it's based on it, and that shows that this yearning has gone through all the years. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, let's try again.
I see. Yeah, that done it.
יפה נוף משוש תבל, קריה למלך רב, לך נכספה נפשי מפאתי מערב. המון רחמי נכמר, כי אזכרה קדם, כבודך אשר גלה, ונבך אשר חרב. ומי יתנני על כנפי נשרים, דרשתיך ואם מלכך, אין בך ואם במקום, צורי גלעדך נחש שרף וגם עקרב. הלא את אבנייך אכונן ושקם, וטעם רגבייך לפי מדבש ירב. איי 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 מערב, יפה נוף משוש תבל, קריה למלך רב, לך נכספה נפשי מפתי מערב.
What I wanted to share was that so much of our liturgy and songs and yearning and hope is really based on the emotions that are in this particular psalm. It's much more than just a psalm for Monday. It feels deeper, and I have more to share about it. We're kind of set the tone by having this beautiful discussion. I feel like we visited Jerusalem in a small way today. I'm imagining, the buildings of Jerusalem and what it's like to walk. I don't know if anybody here ever walked around the walls. I did that twice. At least I think I did it twice. You actually walk on the walls of the old city. It's really, really beautiful. I did it at night. It was cool. So we will continue next week, and next week we'll do a slightly deeper dive on things that I found and read about and thought about. And then we'll move on to Tuesday. But thank you everybody for joining as on the cusp of the new year. Always lovely. Thanks everybody, die-hard participants.
Thank you.
Love learning with you. Thank you for all your thoughts. And Ellen, we can't forget, we're looking for the left hand, which usually is the emotional side. So, all right, my friends, take good care.
Happy New
Bye-bye.
Year.
Thank
That's a
you.
wonderful
Bye.
class. Thank you. I'll be joining. I didn't know.
So happy. Yeah, no, this has been great. You would have loved the ones that we did on the Psalms that we
I
said.
thought it was something else. And anyway, I've been going through
Oh.
this that I could have come. I didn't know what it was. So
Oh, you didn't know what tapping into Tehillim meant. That didn't mean anything to you.
yes, that's right. I didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you know. All right. Bye, everybody.
Happy New Year.
You do the one from the morning till the 30th.
Now I understand.
Right.
I had no idea. Because, by the time I get to them, I'm like,
No,
what?
Thursday morning, then come through.
Just a minute. Thursday morning is what?
First trip for Tuesday, 30th.
Keith, are you on another topic?